Morning, guys. My partner traders 10/8, October 8th, on a Sunday. Real quick update on BTC. Keep in mind, tomorrow the banks are closed. Expect some kind of movement. Um, I am expecting Tuesday to Wednesday, especially Wednesday, to be a little bit of a bearish retest of whatever pump up we get. If we do happen to get a pump up, likelihood will be faded. I won't, but it will be faded. Asset still looks poorly. Hold on, I'll show you guys. Asset still looks poorly positioned for the upcoming next week or so. Unless we get above this $28,000 or $29,000 mark, the likelihood of us going back down is pretty significant. We're currently sitting. We're currently sitting right under the weekly bearish order block, and if you actually take in consideration the supply zone that we have here, you got two supply zones within each other. So there you go. The likelihood of getting above this is very low. In the event that we do happen to get a daily close above $29,000, I will officially flip temporarily bullish for a new high. And when I'm talking about a new high, we're looking at roughly between $33,000 and $34,000. I can't see the asset getting anything more than a simple poke up into further downside. So we're not at that area where we could start just, blindly buying stuff. I do think that if we do happen to get in the near future and move down to at least $19,000 or $22,000, it's going to offer us a significant move back up to 40s. I am waiting. I am waiting for this particular level to hit, which is the weekly demand zone between 22.5 and like 19,000 to unload additional capital back into the market. In the meantime, this is talking about within the next maybe like month or 2 months, right? In the meantime, any move up, personally speaking, to like $34,000, $35,000, if I am on the computer, I will probably fade it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna risk off whatever tokens I currently have sitting in spot. Doesn't look good, guys. It doesn't look good, right? The idea that the June low is still intact, this particular low right here is still intact, does not sit well with me. I'm gonna make this into a dashed line. I'm gonna text it out. June low. I'm running a little fast, guys, but I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. No indicator bullshit yet. We'll do that afterwards. Right, that June low over here is sitting a little bit. It just doesn't sit well with me. It's a little too perfect the way it was situated. Currently sitting on a 2-day bullish block, right under a weekly bearish block. Nothing about this looks good to me. And again, in the event that we do happen to close above that $29,000 range on a daily basis, I will expect a new high to take place. So let me show you guys something else that I wanted to show you. Wait, hold on a second. There we go. Do a clean chart. The order block liquidity sitting at roughly about 30,000 will probably act like a magnet. I'm assuming it's going to act like a magnet over the weekend since the banks are closed on Monday, trap some bulls, and then collapse to the downside. But if you just draw a line at 30,000, draw another line at the June low, which is going to be roughly about 24,000, and just assume that any movement in this particular box needs to be played with caution. I'm going to fade colors yellow so you guys can have it. Turn this order block off. Any movement in here, be careful with it, guys. Like, hawk your charts once the price gets in here. We close above this, sure. But daily close, you're talking about new highs for sure. But anything in here is probably likely going to be distributive. And then I'll move back down to take out these lows. In hindsight, it's going to probably trap a lot of bulls. Now, I could be completely wrong. And we could just completely blow through that level and head to the top side. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think it was a 10 hour that had it. 1 second. There we go. 10 hour that had it. No, it wasn't. It was 12. Was it 21? Where the hell did I see it? There you go, 21. I'm sorry, 21 hour. So the last line of defense is this particular high over here. Because if you extend this to the left side, oh, you can't even extend this to the left side. Let's just get a horizontal line across. All right, you extend that to the left side, you have two valid points, right? And then a deviation into a collapse, no retest, and there's an order block. So just be cautious of what we're doing. We're kind of stepping up right now. We're doing ascending supports. It never ends well when you do ascending supports. And just keep one alert down here once this gets taken. And then on the downside, when it does get taken, you're looking at roughly about anywhere between $22,000 and $24,000. And this is in the upcoming months. If you're talking about the upcoming, like maybe 24 to 48 hours, not even 24, 48 to 72 hours, around there, three days, well, say about Tuesday or Wednesday. If you look at your 4 hour and you turn all this off, okay? Look at the 4 hour position now, what we are right now. This price action over here, look what it did, basically. It V down, went up, literally just chop up, literally chop down. The price action is poorly positioned when you go on lower time frames. A lot of chop. When you start seeing these things, right, it's not fairly easy to trade. But if you zoom out, it's pretty logical what the price is doing. In the short-term basis, up until like maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, I am expecting between 26.2 and 26.9. If you open up your sessions indicator, which is going to be weekly range, take that off. You can keep this on, actually. Check this out. And then put September 28th. Let's see where we at right now. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. I just didn't do it quick enough. I want to identify it for you guys. Hold on. There you go. Okay. So these two levels. Let me get rid of this. Close this out. Weekly low. Sorry, weekend low. Untapped weekend low, guys. Untapped. Untapped Wednesday low. Untapped. These will act like magnets, guys. Especially this particular weekend low. This particular weekend low will act like a magnet. When you see some stuff like this with this big wick over here going all the way up, you know that it's going to get retraced. So keep that in mind. Also, when you're looking at even lower time frame, like the 1 hour and whatnot, this particular low also setting up for disaster, guys. This right here. So in the short term perspective, 26.3, 26.8 by Wednesday, assuming Tuesday and Wednesday. And then from there, I need to check out the chart, see what the oscillators are telling me. I'll probably punt some fresh longs and see if we can get a retest back to the top side. When it comes to the oscillators itself, they're just zigzagging. We're not at a spot right now currently that we could assume when we get algo fires that everything is good and gravy. Again, keep in mind, be patient, man, and don't be trying to jump on every single opportunity you get. In the near future, when we do happen to get a reset, remember how easy it was to trade this once you got those high time frame resets. It was extremely easy. It was like taking money from a little kid, right? When you get accumulation zones and you start getting over unders and you start getting these bottom indications, it's like taking candy from a kid. Keep that in mind. We're just not there yet. I told this to a lot of people via DM. When you see oscillators like this, you know that these gaps have to get filled no matter what. So we're not at that up only mode. But on the next flush, we are setting up for an up only position. We are. Technically, we are. See how the weekly already curled? And this is curling to the downside. They're going to meet. So for them to meet, price has to go up. This price has to go up no matter what. This isn't going to come down. This isn't going to come down and meet it down here. So price is completely collapse. So on the next down move that we get, price will skyrocket. And keep in mind on the weekly time frame, we're putting in majority of the oscillators are showing that we're putting in hidden bull dips, right? So that should speak volume in itself. Any movement that we get to the top side, one more time, any movement that we get to the top side for me is risk off unless we close above 39 with a daily close. And I'm patiently waiting to add additional capital when we do happen to get all the way down here. And if we do happen to get all the way down there, guys, and we fill up this particular weekly demand zone and we do something along the lines of consolidating in here and break a right above this, you're talking about we're going to minimum get down to like mid 30s. Minimum. Absolute minimum. You could even put it to 34,000 depending on if we take it now. If we take 34,000 now before we go back down here, then you're talking about 36 on the way up. But if we don't take $34,000 now and we go down first, this move will be automatically guaranteed us to take us to $34,000. And then you're talking about 34 and 43,000. Like this big box over here is what I'm going to eye everything going forward. Target. I'm going to put this target. Target. Risk off. Risk off. Risk on. It's pretty much it, guys. Like, I'm not day-to-day trading yet because everything is choppy. There's no reason to. And by the way, I got thrown off like how many exchanges right now. I got to find out what exchange could allow me with VPN. So I'm only doing spot. I'm not doing any leverage yet. I'm thinking of either doing Bing X or Woo. One of those two exchanges for leverage. I'm going to probably sign up sometime next week, and I'll be joining you guys for some leverage trading. But this is it. You don't got to complicate it. Just zoom out on the weekly. I mean, there's nothing else that you could... What else can you possibly see? You want to get a little bit more technical? Open up the FVG. Like, there really isn't much else that you need to do. Open up the FVG and see where the high time from FVGs are, right? Look, let's make them black, so you can actually see where they are. All right, you're currently under on FVG right now. We're in it. This particular equilibrium of the FVG led to the move to the top side. Okay, cool. You got to reject it over here. You have the last one sitting here before 40s, which is definitely going to act like a magnet, right? This particular one over here, this EQ, right? More likely than not. And then the most important one on the downside is the risk on, right here, this particular one. So when we start seeing wicks down here, I'm going to color coordinate this so you guys can see it. I'm going to call this the wick zone. When you start seeing wicks down here in the 18th and everyone's like, oh, we're going to die, it's bearish, oh my God. Turn around and say, well, I'm going to buy wick zone bids. I'm going to leave this here when we come back in like 4 or 5 months or whenever it happens. And I'm going to be extremely happy when my bids fail down here. That's it. This is the wick zone. I would guarantee myself that I'm going to get wicks down here filled. Now, if we break this, if we do happen to break this on a weekly close, we're fucked. We're talking about probably more likely than not going all the way down to 16.9, 17.2, which is going to be the support flip to, sorry, the resistance flip to support, right? You're going to basically take a trend line, grab it over here, take it all the way to the right side. I don't have my coffee, guys, so I sound like I'm a little delayed. I apologize. Make this blue, right? I mean, this is common sense, right? I don't have to explain this to anybody. You have an FVG on top that leads to an order block at the bottom. So once you fill the FVG, if this breaks, you're talking about minimum blue line. And if that breaks, we're talking about minimum down here, 13,000. Right there. So guys, be very cautious with the market. It's not a joke. I'd rather everybody be a little bit more conservative until we do happen to get up only, which is definitely coming very soon. I'm telling you it is. The oscillators are very easily read when it's up only, because every single time we get an algo reset, it's literally up only. Cool. keep that in mind. Also, one more thing. Where is this gap shit? Right here. Boom. You got a beautiful gap. Where's the daily? A beautiful gap right there at 20,000. And another beautiful gap over here at 35,000. And more likely than not, when you fill this gap, you're going to wick up here. When you wick into the 40, when I see that price wicks into the 40, I am selling every single token that I have. I am not going to sit here and be like, oh, let me see if this is going to be distributed. I am selling every single token that I have. I cannot see this price doing this and then going straight up. If by whatever means we do happen to get the poke to the top side, this is going to come right back down here. I'm not bearish. I'm just being realistic. I don't think we're in the position where we're going to be up only without filling the bottom of the gaps. Not even gap as in like actual gap. I'm talking about price action gap. There's a lot of empty price action below us. This is all empty price action. I call this price gap. It needs to get filled, right? So back in COVID time, where price just V reversed away from us, right here, right? Why did it V reverse? Because it did the same thing here. What did price do? It moved up, created a massive price gap down here, right? It moved up. It's creating a massive price gap down here. So what's going to happen now? We're going to distribute and then boom and carry on. And this is going to be the move to 40s. And at that point, after that, guys, it'll probably be a massive 1 year or 2 year consolidation run. I don't think that the halving is going to give us a brand new high. Maybe some projects are going to excel and do higher highs and all-time highs, but majority of the crypto market in this upcoming halving next year, I don't think we're going to go far, guys. I don't think we are. That's all. Cheers, guys. Trade safe. By the way, John is back. Thank God. It's been a while. So he's working on some stuff in the background, like liquidity stuff. Hopefully within the next couple of months, things are going to be back to norm again. And hit me up if you need anything else. Cheers.